Ladies, listen to me. Everything that men do is 100% intentional. Everything that a man does, he does it with intention. You guys are living in La La Land. You guys have been watching Disney too much. I need you guys to wake up and smell the coffee. Everything that a man does is 100% intentional. Okay?
Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why they ghost. And this video is very special to me because I actually got ghosted a few months ago, and I honestly think that it changed my personality permanently. So I know how emotionally traumatic it can be, and just wanted to kind of help anybody who's experienced something similar, someone who's currently going through the pain and rejection of being ghosted. So, as usual, I'm going to save my commentary for the end of the video, and I hope this helps anyone who needs to hear it. And let's get into it.
So if a guy ghosted you and you're wondering what you're thinking, maybe you're in your head, maybe you're thinking you coulda, shoulda, woulda done something different, girl, this is what he was thinking and this is where his head was at when he did it. And here's the thing, I've been in the dating game for a hot minute, former bad boy turned personal development coach who did the work, and I've done tons of therapy and personal development, so I know the mindset of a man, you feel me? So here's the thing, you gotta break it down like this. A man has a choice. We know ghosting's disrespectful. We know ghosting is shameful. We know ghosting is the easy way out, but we did it anyway. You got to understand that when a man has the choice between immature action and a mature action, that says everything about him and nothing about you. Because a man who's willing to do that is just clearly and utterly just focusing on himself in the most selfish manner ever. He knows you're a human being. He knows you have feelings. He knows that you have people that you lean on. He knows your time is valuable, yet he chooses to do the easy route, keep you confused for his own well-being and himself. That shows all the immaturity of him. Because guess what? He could have done it different. He could have sat you down and said, hey, listen, I don't think this is going to work out for whatever reason. And I just want you to know that so you know the next steps forward, because I don't want to waste your time and all that. But he didn't. And again, that's something he normalizes for himself. And a man who does ghost is not even in a mature mindset to even settle down to begin with. So he would have just wasted your time. But this is where I check you. If you are so wrapped up on what you could have done, what you should have did, what you did, what you didn't, you are putting all your self-worth in this man and his action. You are not seeing this as something that is a quality that you don't even like. This man did a shameful, disrespectful action. And why would you respect that as a partner, let alone as the father of your children? So see this as something that showed you his true colors of who he was, because he had a choice and he chose this. And know that now you are one step further of not wasting your time and finding someone who is for you. And if you are still wrapped up on wanting this man, I need you to have a hard conversation with yourself of, and why am I trying to receive love from this other person who doesn't want me? Is this really about him, or is this some unhealed wound within myself that feels like I deserve this negativity? And if that is the case, we got some work to do. And link in the bio if you need help in terms of healing, growth, and personal wellness.
Understanding Men Part 2, Why Do Men Ghost Good Women? Welcome to the Daddy Academy. So there's a few things you gotta understand about ghosting, okay? One, a man who is truly about you, wants to date you, takes you seriously, sees a future with you, will not ghost you under any circumstances, okay? So let's get that clear. If somebody's ghosting you, you're feeling a ghosty vibe, a little spooky, he's not for you. Plain and simple. One misconception I hear all the time is, oh, he pulled back, he ghosted because he was catching feelings and he didn't know what to do, so he disappeared for a little bit. Is that true? Does that happen? No, that doesn't fucking happen. And if this guy, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that actually happened. He caught so much feelings for you that he pulled away and he ghosted you. He didn't talk to you for a week. Is that normal to you? Is that normal behavior? Is that how you want your partner to handle having feelings of love? It's fucking weird. So even if that was the case, that's not an excuse. It's not something you should put up with. So why do men ghost? Why do they do it? The reason why men ghost, though, or why this might have happened to you, is because men typically do not have as many options as women. I know that might be hard to believe. A lot of you might not think that, but it's true, okay? So a man is really never going to completely close the door on a situation, okay? Very rarely, I'm sure most of you out there, how many times have you gotten a message from a man saying, hey, I know we've been seeing each other, but I'm not feeling it. Best of luck to you. Like, it doesn't really happen that often. Because if he's been going out with you, there's an attraction there. Maybe you hooked up, maybe you didn't. But he wants to keep the door open just so he has the abundance of the options. So it's a safer option to just ghost, separate, pull back, and ghost rather than close the door in case he wants to come back. I'm not saying it's right, but that's kind of where the mindset is. It's not always malicious like that. So sometimes they just feel like, instead of letting her down and saying something, maybe just pulling back and ghosting is a safer option depending on where you are in a relationship. If this is like 2-3 months in, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. But if we're talking 3 dates or so here, that's it's personal opinion. But really the main reason why you're gonna get ghosting from men is to just keep the door open. If he slams it shut, says I'm not feeling anything, slams it shut, he can't really come back to you. But by leaving it a little ambiguous, he can always try to sneak back in there if he goes out to venture and the well is dry. Good luck out there, ladies. I know it's a shit show.
If a man ghosted you, congratulations, because you are a very lucky woman. Hear me out. First of all, let's get into the reasons why men ghost. The most likely reason, he's seeing someone else. But it could also be he got what he wanted from you and he lost interest. He has commitment issues and he got scared. You asserted your boundaries and he didn't like it. He has abandonment issues and wanted to leave before he got left. He's not serious about you but wants to try to leave the door a tiny crack open in case he wants to come back. It could be any of these things. It could be none of these things. But the actual answer is it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a man who is serious about you and who truly wants a future with you will not ghost you. I know being ghosted is an ego blow that can send you into a spiral of overthinking and feeling unworthy, but I really need you to believe me when I say this man's behavior says nothing about your value and everything about his character and how he handles difficult situations, which is, by the way, in a manner that's selfish, disrespectful, emotionally immature, and probably driven by deep-rooted wounds and insecurities. My love, your feelings of hurt are valid and definitely take the time you need to grieve. But please hear me when I say that you need to make self-love your top priority right now. So you can see clearly that you didn't lose anything in this situation besides a man who was disrespectful, unreliable, and damaging to your mental health. It's not a loss, it's a win, especially because you weren't gonna let him go yourself. And by the way, when you feel ready, send that man who ghosted you some genuine love from a distance, because only hurt people hurt people. I love you, you deserve better, and follow me for help detaching and moving on.
This is why men ghost you. And no, it wasn't because he got busy. 3 reasons men ghost. He's not interested in you, he's talking to someone else, or maybe he's just unsure, which is absolutely fine. The problem is he didn't have the cojones to tell you. So how do you deal with someone who ghosts you? Well, you send them a very long message explaining exactly... Kidding, don't do that. No, if he ghosted you, you quietly move on, because when he comes back, and he will come back, you take away his access to you, and that hurts more than any text you could send him. Oh, how do you know this? Because I've been the guy who didn't have the cojones to let someone know I'm not interested, and when I did ghost them, and they just didn't do anything about it, it almost like held a mirror, and that indifference made me learn my lesson. So make him learn his lesson.
He ghosted you because he got somebody else, either a main piece or a situationship, and he realized that you were going to require too much time, too much effort, that you were going to require too much, and he realized that I am not going to invest that much. I'm not going to invest that much, so I would rather ghost. I'd rather ghost. Because think about it. Now his main lady done seen his phone that he texting you. And so what he says is, I'm out. I ain't calling. So can you imagine him calling you saying, listen, you know what? My main girl just picked up my phone. She saw me talking to you. She saw me trying to smash you. You know what? So I'm going to just have to get up out of here. Y'all know that's not about to happen. So he know what he says? He'd just rather just pull back, stop calling.
A man will always ghost you for this one reason. And this is something that a lot of girls overlook. But in reality, it's actually very simple. And that simple reality is he does not know how to communicate his thoughts and feelings in an effective manner. And most of the time, the unfortunate truth is that guy just psychologically gets in his head and just sabotages everything. Most of the time, guys have to be in a relationship to realize that they're actually not ready. It sounds absolutely crazy, and I know a lot of you girls watching this are gonna lose your mind at this. I do not blame you one bit because it is kind of ludicrous. But it's the unfortunate truth. Guys will recognize that they're not ready to be in a relationship once they are in a relationship. Or once they're in a situationship or they're starting to see someone. They'll realize that they're not ready for it once they're in it. But the idea of a relationship is something that guys really like. Again, it's the hard truth to swallow, but this is just the reality for most guys. Super unfortunate. Use this information as you wish. And as always, have an awesome day.
If a man leaves you, he doesn't want you. I feel like I need to be very clear about this. Now, when I say he doesn't want you, I mean as something serious. Because a lot of times men will come in and out of women's lives and women will think that that means something and they want to know, what should I do? You should understand that that man has you as a placeholder. Likely you guys are having, being intimate, and that's why he's keeping you around. But does he see you as a girlfriend and as a wife? No, he does not. Understand that men are very prideful and entitled in nature. So a man is never going to have a woman that he sees as valuable and he thinks that could be his girlfriend, wife, life partner, and let her go and run the risk of someone else picking her up. Because if he sees you as valuable, and remember, a lot of men in their mind have high standards for themselves, entitled high standards, but I digress. He's going to automatically assume that other men are going to see you as valuable because he knows what his checklist is and what it takes to pass that checklist. So a man is not going to meet a woman he sees as the one and then let her go or be ghosting her because A, he doesn't even think that the one would accept that kind of treatment. So the fact that you're accepting that treatment also lets him know you're not the one. But he's not going to have someone he thinks is the one and is going to be the person that he would want to spend his life with and then ghost her. He's not going to do that. Because people, but men specifically, don't let go of what they think is valuable. It's literally like picking up a bag with 20k in it, spending £50 and then putting it down and then going back later and seeing if it's still there. It makes no sense. He is going to hold on to it because to him that has value. He needs it. It's going to help him in his life. That is exactly how men think about the one. When they find the woman that's the one for them, they are not letting that woman go. So if a man drops you out, no bueno. Don't get it twisted. There are times where a man can see you as the one and act a fool, so you're the one who has to let him go. That's a different situation. However, I'm not saying let this man be playing knockdown ginger with your heart, coming in, running. No. But men are not always the most switched on when it comes to relationships, and it takes them a while to get into the mindset. So a man might make a mistake, you might cut it off, and you may then be able to give him another chance depending on what the mistake is. Absolute hell to the na for any kind of abuse, particularly physical abuse. Just no, cut that man off, one and done. But if he was getting a bit too froggy, if he wasn't keeping his word, little things that can turn into big things, you can give him another chance. But only if you were the one that cut him off. And I'm not talking about the cutting off because some girls will tell me that they broke up with their boyfriend. You did not break up with him. He treated you so bad and made it so clear that this was the only treatment you were getting, that you had no other choice but to leave. Otherwise, you would look absolutely insane in the membrane. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when a guy makes a mistake, you check it, you're like, I'm not really on that. Then he comes back with a change of mind and heart. And also, if he comes back and he hasn't changed his mind and his heart and he's still doing the dumbness, cut him off, one and done. But yeah, I really wanted to clarify that because there's a lot of girls who will message me and be like, oh, he ghosted me or he left. You're not the one. You're not the one. You're a placeholder. You're a good time. You're entertainment. You're the right now girl. You're not the forever girl, because a man will never leave a woman that he thinks is valuable and adds value to his life. I hope that helps. Now, like I always say, There's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you. Mwah.
This is what it means when a guy ghosts you. So you got ghosted by a guy and you want to know why. Listen, there are many reasons why a guy can ghost a girl, so I'm just gonna give you the top 3. This first one's gonna be brutal, but girls, like, listen, if y'all hang out, if y'all text, and then just out of nowhere, everything just stops, maybe you got blocked on Snapchat, that's because he was talking to another girl at the same time, and he picked her. But the other thing is, when a guy does that, if he blocks you only on, like, one app, but still follows you on others, that's because he's leaving you as an open option, you know, in case whoever he's with currently doesn't end up working out, so he could hit you up in the middle of the night, be like, hey, what you doing? The second reason is he just doesn't want to hurt your feelings and tell you that you guys just didn't vibe, so he's just not going to respond to you. He won't block you, but he just won't respond to you anymore. But it'll hurt more because you're confused now. You know, and the last reason, you guys just, you just got down and spicy, and, you woke up in the morning, he wasn't there, he just stopped texting you. That's because you were just a hookup. He was in and out for one reason. Okay? But lucky for you, it was only 30 seconds.
In dating, there's only 3 exact reasons why he would ghost you. Number 1, he found someone else. He found another woman, he had other options, and he's letting you know by not getting back to you, period. You've been seeing each other, you've been sleeping with each other, you've been dating for a while, and all of a sudden the conversation completely drops off and you never hear from him again. He found someone else. That's why I always say, don't put your eggs all into one basket when dating, and also have a little roster. Because that's what men do. They are literally seeing multiple women at a time, dating multiple women at a time. So if you're standing on the sideline, all eyes on him, always messaging, always calling, always dating him, and not having other options, while he has, don't be surprised when he ghosts you, because he ran away with someone else, period. Second reason why he all of a sudden ghosts you, and this is a bit more rare, but in some occasions this actually happens, it is a test. Some men want to give you the chase. Some men are testing you and purposely not messaging back to see how emotionally attached you already are to them. By ghosting you, they're throwing the bait and they're seeing how quickly you come their way. But usually these type of men are very feminine and insecure, and they're doing it to stroke their own ego. That's exactly what you're not going to do. You're not going to then give them the chase, right? As a woman who loves herself, you move on. And last but not least, reason number 3 why he's ghosting you, he deeply, truly knows you are better than him. You are out of his league. You're prettier, you have more money, he cannot afford you, you have too high of standards, you have too many expectations. This man's ego is hurting purely by reaching out to you because he deeply knows he doesn't want to establish a healthy relationship with you because it's not sustainable. He is not the man that he pictures on your side. In other words, he knows he is not good enough for you. Remember, ladies, in all 3 cases of ghosting, how you win is by acting unbothered. Do not reach out first when he ghosts you. Walk away, keep it moving, you're busy.
Men ghost women for the simple fact they are not interested. I know women want to sit here and make excuses for men, but that's the raw answer. I don't care what he says, his actions speak louder than his words. I said this before and I'll say it again. Men are hunters and they go after what they want. If he truly wants you, he's gonna give you 100% effort and then some. If you don't hear from him at all, or only hear from him once in a while, he's not interested. You are convenient, and he's gonna play games for as long as you let him. So ladies, know your worth, and pay attention to actions, not words.
What should you do when a man ghosts you? Well, the reality is that it's not your fault, and it's not your responsibility that someone else couldn't communicate to you the things they needed to communicate. When most people ghost, it's because they carry their own insecurities, their own pain, and or their own sense of deception. They are too weak, insecure, feel inadequate, need to compensate by being in control, by ending the relationship. Maybe there's a fear of abandonment, there's a fear of rejection. The weak comment isn't a judgment call on them. There's a weakness in the nervous system, there's a weakness in the mind that says, if I don't take control of the situation, if I don't hurt someone else, then someone else is going to hurt me. And unfortunately, those that get ghosts are just collateral damage for those that are ghosting. So recognize that it's not your fault and it's not your responsibility. Now, you must grieve that process and you must address whatever insecurities or pain come up for you as well. If you're feeling a sense of loss or low self-worth, or that this is a pattern in your life, again, it's not your fault. But look at that. Take this as an opportunity to slow down your dating and really get clear on who you are, what you want, what your boundaries are, and what your value is.
3 reasons why a man will ignore you. Number 1, sadly, if he does something wrong, he does not want to admit to it. So he will just ignore you and try to do anything but talk to you so that you can hold him accountable for it. So that's how you know. Number 2, when he thinks that you are out of his league, when he thinks that he has no chance with you whatsoever, he will just ignore you because he doesn't want to get his ego hurt or his ego bumped from not getting you and trying to get you, so he will just ignore you. So if he thinks he has 0 chance, he's gone. And number 3, when you hurt him, a guy will never say to you, you hurt me, you hurt my feelings. So he will literally just not respond if you hurt those feelings. They don't want to say it. They will do anything but say it and admit to that. So if he does admit to it and he does say you hurt his feelings, he is a mature, grown-ass man, and keep that man.
I want to start a family with you.
What? So I just saw this video on TikTok and I saw some of the comments, and a lot of the comments were like, you know, my man took me to look at engagement rings and the next day he ghosted me. My man told me that he wanted to marry me and for me to have his kids. The next day he ghosted me. My man said he wanted to meet my parents and he ghosted me. My man had just said, I love you, and then he ghosted me. And there was another comment where somebody was like, this is obvious why men do this. Men do this because they're afraid of their feelings. No. Like, I know that there are some rare occasions where that's the case, and they want you to think that. They want you to think there's some deep, special, emotional reason for why they ghosted you. But I believe it's because some men love to cosplay as good guys when they really are bad guys. I think some men do this because they want you to give them that good guy treatment. They want you to treat them as if they had done all these things. And if all they have to do is sell you a dream, sell you a fantasy, talk a good game, that's exactly what they'll do. This is why you don't get caught up on what a man is telling you. You wait to see the actions. I don't care if you say, I want to marry you one day, I want to have your kids. Where's my ring? You're not getting the treatment of a man who's proposed to me, the treatment of a man who I'm engaged to, if you're not that guy. Like, some men will tell you anything and everything. And some men, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The cruelty is the point. Some men, they get a kick out of seeing what they can talk you into, especially if they can get a good girl to do bad things for them. I don't care what he tells you, make him prove it, or it didn't happen, or he doesn't mean it. There are men out here who try to seduce women and talk women into doing certain things for sport. They get with their guy friends and they laugh about all the things they have convinced you of. Don't fall for this. If he is genuine about all the things that he's telling you, about all the promises that he's making you, make him prove it. And do not start acting like he already did.
If a man is ghosting you and you are going crazy, dear God, please, please do this. When a man ghosts you, as a female, we have an urge for some reason, something's telling us inside that we need to tell them that we saw something. We saw something with them, or we thought that they led us on, and we want an explanation. That voice is going to make us want to text him, call him, have any sort of context with him so that we can have some sort of knowledge or explanation for all of this. But no answer is an answer. No response is a big response. Let that sink in. You are not his mother, and you are not there to tell him and teach him what he likes and what he wants. Of course, it's normal to feel like you're not good enough and you want that validation from someone, but we need to ask ourselves, why are we letting one single man upset us that much? One single man when there are billions and millions of men on this earth. We all have a choice. And that man had a choice. He had a choice to either explain to you that he is going to go ghost, that something's happening in his life, that you are not the one. Whatever that reason may be for his ghosting, he had a choice to tell you that and be a man. But he chose that easy way out. He chose to just ghost you and never respond. And what on earth does that say about him? Him not respecting your time, him not giving you any explanation to anything, him choosing the easy way out. This man has clearly some sort of issue without being able to be a man and step up to the plate and explain himself physically, emotionally, whatever that may be. But this would happen sooner or later in the relationship if you ever get there. He would take the easy way out. Maybe he'd take the easy way out and do something stupid. Maybe he would take the easy way out again and then ghost you further down the road. If you hop back into that conversation and says hello after a month's time or after a year's time, please, girl, do not let him waste any more of your time, because if he's choosing the easy way out now without respecting you, he's gonna do it again. And let's save ourselves from that.
A man ghosting you is for your own benefit. Rejection for redirection. Yeah. So don't even bother asking why he ghosted you or look for that closure from him. Because God heard the conversations that man was having when you weren't in the room, and he saw the things that man was doing behind your back. Yeah. Be thankful he ghosted you, so now you can redirect your mind and energy to becoming a better woman with the baddie blueprints.
He ghosted me a couple of times. He came back. He often makes me pay for my like when we go out for dinner, and he's married, and he's like gets really cold when I say that he, should get a divorce or whatever, is the message that I get. Daily, I get this kind of message, daily. And do you know what it says at the end? The audacity of what it says at the end. What should I do, Margarita? I don't mind you messaging me, okay? But what I mind is the audacity and the disrespect you have towards yourself. There is nothing wrong with the guy in this message. You know why? Because he's a classical, psychopathic, narcissistic, fly, disgusting piece of poopy caca, okay? He's just living his poopy caca life. That's what he's doing. He's thriving. He's living his best life. He's not asking Margarita what he should do because he's got it figured out. But you need to run to the hospital, to the ambulance, to I don't know where, and change your self-esteem. It's about self-esteem. It's about becoming the woman that you are designated to be. What do you want me to say as a reply to that? What you need to do is drink some chamomile tea and then put like a mouse's foot in it, go around and round and round, drink the witch's brew, and he will be normal. Why do you want to be with someone like that? There is no recipe. The recipe is get self-esteem. You know how? Keep promises to yourself. Never break them. Number 2, treat yourself like somebody that you love. You know that dog that you always give its medicine on time and you're always kind to it, and you would never let anybody, you wouldn't let that man treat your dog this way. You'd be like, you're married? You're never seeing my dog again. But you let him treat you that way. Okay. Keep your promises. Treat yourself like somebody you love. Put yourself first. Push through the, I'm selfish. I don't want to be selfish. Would you let him treat your sister or your mum this way? With his married self? With his ghosting self? He's doing everything right. He's getting what he wants. Self-esteem is what we need. Emergency.
Why doesn't someone give you closure when they ghost you? Because they might want to come back. So they're not going to give you closure. They're not going to say, I'm not interested. Because then you might not respond when they reach out again. But if I ghost you, I confuse you. And then when I come back 4 weeks later and say, what's up? How are you? I'm relying on the fact that you're confused and that you're not going to speak up for yourself. That's what's happening in dating all the time. You're talking to someone every day, and then for 2 weeks they go cold, and then 2 weeks later they message you and say, what are you up to tonight? They're relying on the fact that you are going to think that it's weak for you to admit that that hurt you, or that that was strange behavior to you, or that that's not enough for you, and that instead you'll think that the cool thing to do is feign indifference. You've just tacitly approved this entire dynamic. We think that we're holding the power by mirroring their bullshit behavior, but instead we're enabling, we're approving it by not pointing it out.
What the right thing to do there would be like, thought we were having a good time, whatever, not cool, have a nice life.
Shine a giant light on the elephant in the room. Don't let there be an elephant in the room. You know, that thing's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
We were having a good time. I didn't hear from you for 2 weeks. Now you're texting me again. Mitch Albom said, if you don't like the culture, don't buy it. Create your own.
Ladies, unpopular opinion, but anytime a man ghosts you, especially if things were going well or you guys have been intimate, it is almost always to go from you to another woman. Almost always, okay? Because men like to monkey bar. They don't really like to go from things that are going great to nothing. So if he ghosted you out of the blue and you're so confused about it, it's probably because he went back to a woman he was seeing before you, or someone he met while he was with you messed up, or after you. Now, the reason I'm telling you this isn't to like make things more painful than they already are, but instead to get you out of your brain. Stop psychoanalyzing the situation. Stop trying to put together the pieces or even chase him. Instead, do what he's doing. Go meet another guy, level up your life, work toward your goals, become the best version of you, okay? Don't give him the privilege of taking space up in your brain rent-free when you could be focusing inward. And you know what? If a guy is on the fence about you or he thinks he can do better, let him. Goodbye. You know your worth, so don't waste your time. Follow me for more dating tips, and good luck.
Ladies, listen to me. Everything that men do is 100% intentional. Everything that a man does, he does it with intention. You guys are living in La La Land. You guys have been watching Disney too much. I need you guys to wake up and smell the coffee. Everything that a man does is 100% intentional. Okay, so if he's not replying to you after so many hours, if he's taking hours to reply back to you, he knows what he's doing. If he hasn't spoken to you in weeks, he knows what he's doing. If he's texting you but not planning a date, he knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and that plan just means you're not included in that plan.
Hello, I'm back with my commentary. So, first of all, I just wanted to say that I love this topic, and I know I say this in like every single video, but I really do. I really love the topics that I've posted about on this channel previously and the ones that are going to come up soon. So, I just really enjoy making it, and I wanted to say that I really appreciate like everyone who's been subscribing and watching my videos all the way through. Thank you. But yeah, like I said at the start of the video, I got ghosted a few months ago, and listening to these TikToks and creating this video and everything has really helped me to like process it and to accept the fact that he did that because he obviously didn't like me that much. And like I say, I really hope that this helps anybody else that's going through it. I think that these TikToks did a really, really good job of explaining why men ghost, why they come back, why, like, how they know what they're doing, but they chose to do it anyway, because at the end of the day, it is a choice and it is about emotional maturity and insecurity, like how they ghost you because they don't know how to communicate properly or because they don't want to, because they want to leave the door open so that they can come back later. But also, like, when they do come back, it's usually, I mean, this is going to be my next video, is why they come back after they've ghosted. So the answer to that I'm going to leave for that video. But yeah, I think it just did a really good job of explaining the psychology behind why people ghost and acknowledging that it's not just men. Women do this too. But obviously, as a woman who dates men, this is the only perspective I've ever really had. So, but just to recap what's been said in these TikToks, the main reason why a man ghosts you is because he's not that into you, most likely because he has another woman that he's talking to, whether he was seeing her before he met you, whether he met her while he was seeing you, or whether it's a really recent thing. Doesn't matter, there's probably another woman involved. Also, men who genuinely like you and are serious about having a relationship with you would never ghost you. So, if you've been ghosted, it's because he's not the one, and it's much better to process the pain and the rejection and just move on. And I just wanted to acknowledge the Matthew Hussey video specifically, where he talks about how if someone ghosts you and then come back and your response is to be indifferent and try and like play it cool, then you're actually just enabling the behavior. That's basically playing into what they want. That's how they want you to react, because the only way that they're going to be held accountable for their behavior is if you call them out on it. If you don't do that, if you act like, oh yeah, it's cool, don't worry, I've been busy too, whatever, then they'll just do it again. They're not going to respect you, they're not going to value you. If anything, they might come back, see that you're being indifferent towards him, like blatantly disrespecting you, and then he's going to be like, and that's why I didn't take her seriously. And I know that that might be really hard to hear, but I think that is honestly what happens. I think sometimes somebody, like, you meet somebody and you know that you're not that into them and you can't quite put your finger on it, and then you give yourself some distance, and when you go back and their behavior is the same, you're like, ah, and there it is. Like, there is a reason why I don't really like this person. So definitely one of my biggest takeaways from this video is don't be indifferent. If a man is being disrespectful towards you, then you need to call it out. You need to, if he does come back after ghosting you, just don't respond. Do not respond. Either don't respond at all or call him out on it and let him know that you're not just going to let him back in your life and repeat the cycle. Because also, some people ghost multiple times. And the only way that they can do that is if you let them. If every time they come back, you welcome them back. You don't call it out. You're more than happy to kind of play it cool every time they come back. They're just going to keep doing it. You're going to like solidify your place as the placeholder, as the entertainment when he's bored, the backup plan, like whatever it is. Like, that's how you end up in that role. So another highlight of this video for me as well was Shonda's video talking about how men will like tell you how much they love you and talk about wanting a future with you and take you engagement ring shopping and everything before they ghost you. And I agree with everything that she said. People like to make excuses for men when they ghost and say things like, oh, it's because he was afraid of his own feelings for me. I personally don't buy that in the slightest. Like we've discussed previously, if a man is really that into you, he's not going to ghost you. And when she said that these men like to cosplay as the good guy, like they want you to see them as these amazing guys who have done all of these really romantic things, and basically just like they like the feeling of you being kind of in awe of them. Like they really like how you treat them when you believe that they're a good guy. So that's why they do it. And that completely changed my perspective on things. It made me realize just how much I really wasn't the problem in the situation, because like what the hell. So yeah, that's probably my second favorite TikTok in the video. I think the first two TikToks as well did a really, really good job of explaining, like from a man's point of view, why men ghost. So I also love them. Shout out to those creators. But yep, that is all I have to say on this topic for now. So if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like the video, maybe leave a comment and subscribe to the channel, because I do plan on making more content like this in the future. And that's everything. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.